Right. There we go. Happy Monday, you guys, and happy February. Whew. January was a really good month. Um, as I adjust my leg here. And I know we all worked hard. We worked hard in December, we worked hard in January. And so I was looking on Saturday, the last day of January. I was looking through um, my organization and I was having some thoughts and looking at how, um, okay, so let me just back up a little bit. We all started Plexus, most of us started for health. A lot of us, especially in here, um, want to and have been working to build a team which equals income for our households, okay, of varying degrees. So, that being said, all the work we put in, we don't want it to go to waste, right? Because we're not getting paid like a traditional job where we are driving to a job and we know when we clock in, we're going to get a solid 4 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. We're going to get paid for that time because if we don't get paid for that time, we're not going to work that job, right? That's silly. Nobody does that. So we're going to get paid for that job, right? Well, in Plexus, that's not the case. All right. The whole working thing is completely different. And we all know that the income is not capped. It's not capped. So somebody could simply decide, I just need like to get my products covered. I don't want to go work the whole thing and build it up. And people change their minds, right? So some people just want to get their products covered. Fantastic. We support that. We help with that. Some people want to just maintain like a low part-time paycheck coming in. That just relieves them. They don't want to do a whole lot more, but they are happy maintaining a smaller size team that fits their life. They don't want to dream big and do more. That's okay. That's the beauty of this. And then there's a smaller group of us who really do see, we're like, no, we want to utilize the entire compensation plan because we know the options it can provide, not just for our own household and family, but it opens doors. God uses it in amazing ways. Okay. All right. All that being said, we put in a good amount of work into what we do here. And I would venture to say that most of you, I know this happens with me, I put in a lot of emotional work, right? Like this is an emotion, this can be, we can learn to steady ourselves, okay? But this can be an emotional roller coaster, okay? Um, Again, we can learn to steady ourselves and not react to things, but we are building relationships and we are working with people. We are inviting people in, and we have some people that are like, yes, I'm going all in, I'm working this, and then they don't. That happens. We have to deal with that emotion inside us, okay? We have people that enroll with us as a VIP customer and they get their products, and then a week later, they disappear. Okay. Close off. Weird things happen. Okay. I was telling Wendy today, some people are just weird. I don't know how to explain them, but we are in the people business and people, okay, people need compassion. All right. A lot of people are going through hard things and we have a solution for them. All right. I promise this is going somewhere, you guys. So, that being said, Saturday, I was looking at my organization. I was looking at my points and I was like, all right, there is a big gap here compared to the end of December. There was a big gap. Okay. I'm just being real. Um, it happens. Okay. It's part of it, it's part of life when your team gets bigger, or even when it's smaller, it happens. Okay. So I was like, that isn't good. I need to go investigate some more. And I found about roughly, I was missing around 100 to 200 pay points worth of orders. I don't know if that translates, if that makes sense. Because here's what I found. There were a lot of the new VIPs from November and December who had joined my organization did not have their subscriptions on for January. And of course, all of us, or most of us, did enroll more VIPs in December with the free reset. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about the things that were rolling around in my head Saturday night and into Sunday. I was not upset. I was not even, I was a little disappointed. It's not the first time it's happened for to me. It's been actually happening for a while. Again, just being real. Um, and so what I am working to do is to become a better leader and to solve a problem. Solve a problem. And what I'm about to share is nothing new. It is all things that I personally need to implement very diligently. And I have my work cut out for me. So I'm going to share with you what I am, well, part of, I didn't put in my notes, part of what I'm going to be doing personally, but also the notes I wrote out for tonight are for, it's for everyone. This is for everyone. If you haven't even enrolled your first VIP, this is for you. And this is good because you can practice. Okay. Um, and okay, so we're going to start. Okay, it's going to be about customer care. All right. And so I wrote out something. I just came up with it in my head. It's I sell a solution for life, not a 30-day sale. Okay. So, so we had a free reset in December. Huge. Like that's huge. And that I enrolled people with a free reset. I was absolutely determined I would not let them stop ordering products. Like they will not stop. I've worked pretty hard on even my fall VIPs. I'm like, you will not stop. I will not. We will have conversations. Okay. Because this, I'm trying to close the drain here, at least personally in my own personal business work. Okay. And I need to also help close the drain for my organization. All right. So, I'm sharing with all of us because I can pretty much guess we have probably varying degrees of this. Okay. We sell a solution. A solution is something it's going to solve a problem. And it doesn't solve a problem in 30 days. And we all know that our products are not something that we just take for we don't even take it for a year and then stop. We shouldn't. We are all testament of or testimony of taking things for a long time and watching how things change even year after year. And now tweaking our products with the GLP system and seeing things change, continuing to change for some of us who've been around for a long time. So here's where the customer care starts. It starts with the conversations we are having before we enroll people. Everything I say tonight, you're going to be like, yes, I already know that. Okay. So, like, it's a reminder to myself, but I had to write it down and I had to think through it because sometimes I can think I'm doing things, but I'm actually not doing things. All right. Um, so the conversations start with our potentials. All right. When we are in conversation with our potentials, okay, this is where we start to lay the groundwork for the expectations. Okay. Um, we find out what their needs are. We suggest a product system. Okay. It might not be the GLP, it might be the gut health system with an active thrown in or bottle of ease or something. Okay. And we make it very clear that this is for long-term health, not a quick fix. And I think we have to say that more because even people who are like, yes, yes, definitely long-term health, we're like, no, like this is long-term health, not a quick fix. I want to make it very clear. And so we need to lay the groundwork for a 90-day expectation. So I'm going to tell you something. I'm I decided, well, I'm going to be a guinea pig. And the lady I was talking to today, I started doing this right at the end of last week of last month, where I started two people. I told them, I need you to use the GLP system for 90 days before you can make a decision to quit. Like, or I'm not going to enroll you. And that like made me a little nervous because I'm like, my brain's like, no, we want to enroll people. I'm like, but I don't want to enroll people and have them quit 30 days after. That's a whole waste of my time and their money. And so I did start talking to a couple people at the end of January. And then today I was like, I'm just going to tell this lady, okay? Um, so I said, what did I say? Oh, it was in a voice message. I'm not going to play that to you all. Um, I told her it was a 90-day. I said something about, oh no, here it is. Here it is. I typed it out. She asked about the the GLP combo pricing. She said per month, and I said correct, per month. You know, it's like almost $200. I said I only advise people to use this system if they can commit to a minimum of 90 days. I also told her about the 60 money back guarantee. I have no qualms telling people about that because I would want to know about that. Um, I said the human body needs more than 30 days to start working on things and talked about the products get to root needs of of health issues and also keep your body safe with no ill side effects like the shot has. Okay. Told her about $10 coupon, free shipping in March and April. And so she said, okay, let me think about if I can do that price for 3 months. Thanks. And then she asked if I had any 90-day result testimonies. Okay. So I sent her a bunch of stuff before the Zoom. She hasn't read all of it. We'll see what we shall see, and I will let you all know. But I thought about this. I'm like, do I want to put in all those months? Because you guys, we follow up with people for months, sometimes years, right? Like sometimes we have people that are like 3 years later, they're like, I'm ready. And we're like, yes. And we celebrate in our team chat. And then you don't want 30 days later or even 60 days later for that girl to be like, well, I can't afford the products. It's just I'm not noticing a whole lot. And you're like, all that time, all that time you spent working on her to get her to enroll. And now she says, I don't think I can take them right now. I need to stop. Okay. It doesn't mean that they won't start back again, but you know what I'm saying? 90 solid days, you know how much like our bodies can change, like health wise, we can see some good change in 90 days. So that is what I want to advise us to start doing, a 90-day expectation before we enroll people. We only enroll people who are going to commit to whatever system of products it is, if they're going to use them every single day for 90 days. Okay. That might scare us, but you guys, it's either that or we keep enrolling people who drop off, and we don't want that. Okay. Um, we do need to be talking about people that are telling people they're going to have a monthly subscription. So with those in their first, well, every month, not their first 90 days, but every month, they're going to have a monthly subscription. That's so that they don't have any gaps between their product usage. Because we all know what it feels like to have some gaps of time while we're waiting. We've moved our sub around and all that stuff, having gaps of time before our next set of products have come. I know what that's like. Okay. I don't like it. My body doesn't like it. And especially for someone that's new, we don't want them to have gaps of time. We want them to every single day have the right dosage amount for what their health needs are. Okay. I'm not pretending I have this down perfect, you guys. This is all like just me, like, close the drain, for crying out loud. Okay. I'll explain my next step here after a bit. So we need to set a 90-day expectation. And I really think that I want to believe, and I really do think this is stewarding things well. I think the Lord would honor this because we're not just like, get a quick sale. And then we're not thinking that. Okay. We're not saying, well, I just want a quick sale and then I'll take care of them after. Like, we want to help steward them. I don't know if this makes sense. We want to help steward them before they even enroll, like their thought process on what they are stepping into. What they are investing their money and time into. Okay. Okay. And then I wanted to mention onboarding, this fancy word that all it means is what do we do with our new VIP now that we have enrolled them? This is a very vital part, I think, to also have retention, okay, which means they aren't dropping off as much, okay? Um, so for me, this is what I do, and this is what I'm working to do even better. All right. So one of the things I have been doing for 11 years, I know I've missed a few here and there, but I will very quickly in my first 24 to 48 hours, I will put them in a three-way chat or text chat with Monica, who is my sponsor. It doesn't matter that I'm an emerald, I still do it. And I will probably do it even when I'm a double diamond because it matters. It just matters. And it's probably because it's just habitual, but it matters because it is a personal, informal touch point that my new VIP gets with her. And it's just a small little three-way chat. I introduce the two of them together and to each other. I share a little bit about each of them, and then they hop in. Sometimes my VIP is chatty, sometimes she's not. That's okay. Monica always comes in, introduces herself more, offers her support and encouragement, and we kind of leave it at that. I'm sure there's something better I could do with it, but work with me here. I'm still figuring that out. And then I make sure that I am adding them to Team Motivate and Inspire and Inspired Wellness Co. Facebook groups. All right. So they have a support group or a Facebook space that they are in where they are seeing notifications of Plexus stuff pop up. They're seeing stuff that our team is doing, all that stuff. Okay. So then I also welcome them into my customer chat. Um, I call it my team chat, but a lot of the people in there are a random hodgepodge of my personal VIPs and lots of other VIPs in my organization who are not working the business, but are happy wholesalers or dabbling in the business. I do have leaders in there as well. Okay. I have just recently in the last 30 days changed how I use that chat because it was very, very dead. And it's still kind of dead, but it's becoming more alive. I am working to build belief in what they are using. That is my other touch point of building belief because I want retention on my team. I want people to say, I can't go without my products because this is how they help and this is what I'm noticing. And there's other people in here that are using these and this is what they're noticing. So I need to keep using my products. Okay. So I add them in to and I have most of my girls, this is what I'm working on with my team, to add them to our customer chat. And we, again, like we talk about products in there, share testimonies, specials, talk about the Zooms and all that. Um, there was something else. Oh my goodness. So I was going to mention, yes. Oh, Janelle, yes. Janelle said adding potentials and current customers to our testimony page. We have a testimony page. Janelle started it a few years ago. It's called Inspired Wellness Collective. And it's chock full of testimonies. So if you have people that are thinking about Plexus, tell them, hey, I want to add you. I'm going to add you to this Facebook group. Please accept the notification Because you guys, if they don't accept the notifications and I can't tag them in it, I will actually go and private message them, be like, hi, I added you to this. Here's a screenshot. Can you go make sure you check your notifications so I can tag you in it? Like, I don't care about offending people anymore. I just tell them, please go get your, like, click. Okay. Like, so I can tag you so you can read and have your belief built even before you enroll. Okay. Janelle works really hard on that, and I need to help her more with that. Um, that was the other thing I was going to mention was I don't ask my VIPs if I can put them in a three-way chat with Monica. I don't ask them if I can add them to my team chat. I don't ask them if I can add them to the Facebook team pages. I tell them. You guys. And I'm going to liken this to it's not the same thing exactly, and it's not to be unkind, but it's kind of like a parent telling their child, I know what's best for you. I've been on this earth longer. I have experienced a lot of life. I don't want you to do XYZ, or I do want you to do XYZ. We know how Plexus works. We know what's best for our VIPs. So we can lovingly and clearly guide them. We can firmly or lovingly and directly guide them, okay? Boldly guide them. Um, so that is mostly what I wanted to share. I don't know if Wendy's on here yet. Um, my customer chat. Okay, so this was I am really I'm working to use things more, learn how to do things better here, okay? Because there was a time where a lot of things died, okay, for me in my business. All right. And one of them was that team chat. Okay. So I have actually removed people from there. Some people have removed themselves, and that's fine. It's not for them, and I don't take offense anymore at that. I'm like, you know what? They're not apparently supposed to be in there. So, um, I use that team chat now as a space to build their belief. Because one of the things, and this is kind of what I've mentioned already, is if somebody does not believe that the products can help them, why would they continue to use them? So, as the sponsor, we need to our focus should be like, I have to, oh, that's what I was going to talk about. I have to build their belief as fast as I can. This is my own personal goal. Like, this is my own little mission in my own personal business. Okay. And I want to share that with everyone on my team who sponsors people. And this is another big thing that I need to work through. It's going to take a while. Um, so, for example, I have been inviting new VIPs since November to the Zooms. Have they all come? Absolutely not. I have I and I have been very direct. I've become so direct with some of them. One in particular, I've been like, I need you to listen to this. You need to know what you are using. Okay, so if they don't come live, request. Tell them, I need you to watch the recording. So not this recording, but like the Meet Plexus recording or the new VIP Zoom recording, okay? Like they need to know what they have. So you can say, I need you to watch this. You need to know what you bought. You need to understand there are other products out there. You need to know. I need you to know, okay? Can you carve out 15 or 20 minutes tomorrow to watch this? Okay, you guys, everybody has 15 or 20 minutes to listen to something, even while they're driving. Okay. So, that's what I'm personally doing with VIPs. Okay. Lots of one-on-one. All right. The other thing is I have a job cut out for me where I need to go one by one to people on my team who have sponsored people and walk through this thing and say the same thing I've just shared with all of us here and say, you've been doing a great job enrolling people. Are you following a checklist of helping to build their belief right out of the gate, setting a 90-day expectation now with people that you are talking to, potentials, and going back to your VIPs and saying, I need you to use these for 90 days. You have a monthly subscription. Like your subscription is there to give you success, not for you to turn off and say it doesn't work for me. So, okay, Wendy is here, right? She was here. Oh, she's there in the middle. Okay, I'm going to stop talking because she wanted to share some stuff.
Well, hey, everybody. Sorry I'm late. I was helping a friend with another call tonight. But that's all one plexus, right? All right. I know that Melody shared some really great things with you guys tonight, but whoever's on is on, whoever's not on, whoever all I'm saying is I am talking to the leader in you tonight. Okay? The leader in you, please stand up because that's who I'm talking to. And this may or may not be for you. Only you can discern that. But I have some thoughts. And boy, when Wendy has some thoughts, look out. Okay. All right. Let me ask you guys a question, but don't answer it out loud. I'm going to ask you a question. The question is, where were you on the last day of the month? Where were you on the last day of the month? Because that day tells the truth about your entire month. Not blaming. You don't need to explain. I'm just looking for ownership. The last day exposes your standards when the pressure is on and the time is short. People default to who they really are on the last day of the month. It's a standard that you have operated from the entire time. The last day reveals ownership versus entitlement. High performers close, period. They don't wait to be reminded, rescued, or rallied. If you went vogue or quiet, it shows participation and not ownership. And ownership shows up strongest until the end. The last day confirms its effort was strategic and not accidental. A strongly closed month means that the month was worked on purpose. A weak close tells you that activity was scattered, emotional, or reactive. Results don't collapse in 24 hours. They reflect 30 days of habits. The last day of the month is not a fluke. It's a receipt. Sorry. Yes, I read that. Okay. I have all my notes here. Sorry, guys. Leaders close months. They don't coast into the finish line. Leaders are visible when it matters the most. And that's at the end of the month, at the end of a challenge, at the end of momentum. And you don't freelance. Alignment isn't optional, it's a job. If I can't find you on the last day of the month, I already know how you led the entire month. This isn't about pointing fingers, although I just did that because I do talk with my hands. It's about asking yourself a better question. Were you leading or observing? Were you closing or were you waiting? Were you aligned or were you independent? You don't want a bigger paycheck than your presence. Compensation follows visibility, not vibes. Paychecks don't respond to intentions, affirmations, or how badly you want it. They respond to how often you are seen doing the work that creates value. Absent leaders don't earn leader income. Presence is the rent that you pay for growth. And I'm going to say this one again because I don't think people really understand that your presence is something that you have to pay for. It's something you have to take away from something else. Presence is the rent that you pay for growth. If you're not present mentally, emotionally, or operationally, you're not building your in default. Your paycheck is a receipt of your leadership. It reflects the decisions that you made, the standards that you hold, and the moments that you choose to lean in instead of sitting back. If the income doesn't match the desire, the gap is almost always presence, not potential. But guess what? February gets a clean slate, not a lower standard. So I'm going to ask you to set an expectation for yourself this month. Show up early, stay visibly late, and close strong. How you show up on the last day of the month is how I will measure your leadership every single time. Leadership isn't hype, it's a posture. Can you stay visible, decisive, and focused when the clock is ticking, or do you ghost, spiral, or pass it off? Pressure exposes capacity. I thought that was pressure exposes capacity. Your closing predicts your team's culture. Teams don't rise or respond to speeches, they mirror behavior. If you show urgency, clarity, and ownership on the last day, your team learns to do the same thing. If you check out, they learn that finishing strong is optional. Leadership isn't proven in the middle of the month, it's proven at the close. And that is all I wanted to say. So, with that being said, I'm going to end on this note. Just give me one moment. I'm going to stand up for a second. I have a blanket on my lap. Surprise! Always have a blanket. If you operate by calendar and you want February to look different than your January, I'm going to ask you right now, leader to leader, you put an X on the first day of the month and you put an X on the last day of the month. And nothing else gets your time than working your business with intention as strong as the first day and the last day. You are going to see growth when these X's tell you, I'm showing up for this today. Nothing else is coming in the way. If you are already planning a vacation, obviously that's not going to happen. I get time away. Believe me, I think that's fine. But if there's nothing on your calendar now is the time to put the X on there and don't put anything over it. Because your teams need you to show up. In team chats, on your pages, in your posts, on your stories, in your texts, in your messages, in your performance, because we set the bar. We're the standard. We are the standard of the whole entire organization. And if we want our organization to rise, it rises and falls on leadership. So, okay. Whew. Now my pits are sweating. That's all I had to say tonight, team. I hope that was like a loving butt kick, because that's what it was meant to be. And I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of doing some like personal growth and training in my own head. So whatever I'm getting in my head comes out my mouth. So there you go. All right, you guys, have a good night. Love you all. See you tomorrow night. Carrie and I are on tomorrow night, by the way. Okay, bye.